The poet Stanley Kunitz's last book was called Next to Last Things, so here we are on the next to last day. Good morning, welcome. It is the last day? Oh, there goes my joke, oh well. Good morning, there we go, there's the ding. Welcome to the Gloucester Unitarian Universalist Church. We have been gathering in community of faith since 1779, and we welcome you whether you grew up here, attending here, or this is your first visit. Wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here.
Jim, hold it a little closer.
I need to talk into the mic. Okay, fine. I'm getting feedback. A special welcome to any visitors with us this morning. If you'd like to get connected and learn more about our community life, please take a moment, fill out the yellow card hanging in the pew, located on the back seat in front of you, or sign the guest book at the table in the entryway. Also, we'll have coffee and tea downstairs in the social hall following the service, and hope you can join us there. That's right behind me down the stairs. Okay, we have a few announcements. Childcare today by Kiana DeBose is not happening because she's not here. We'll be taking down the Christmas decorations this week, so if you would like to take a poinsettia home with you today after church, please take one, or more. Please visit our new exhibit in the entry house gallery as you came in through the main door. She's exhibiting her photographs and poetry, and the script here has an opinion, but I would love you to go out there and form your own. Also, mark your calendars for the next meeting of the church book discussion group. It's January 17th at 1 p.m. in the Williams Room, which is also behind me on this floor. The book is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, and it's an excellent read. There are some copies available to borrow if you'd like to join in. I bought one. It's time of year when we update the church directory. If you have changes to your address or contact information, please let Christine Norris know in the church office. It's important that we keep the directory up to date. Nothing is published online, so the hard copy is very useful. And so be it.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you here this morning. I wanted to just say a quick word about our service. This is becoming a tradition here for the Sunday closest to New Year's Eve, where we look back and look ahead. And we have some rituals that we do to help us with that. So our service has 3 sections: remember, release, and resolve. And so it'll be shorter and less formal, and it has more opportunities for participation and reflection. In the first section, remember, everybody is invited. There'll be a time in the service when you can take the yellow card in your order of service and write some thoughts on it about what you want to take with you from 2023. And folks at home, I'm hoping that you will also grab some paper and pencil and participate when we have that part of our service. And then the second part of the service is called release. And that's when you take the little piece of flash paper that's in your order of service and you write something on it that you were really hoping to let go of from this past year, something that you wish to see disappear. And then you can, when you're ready, you'll be able to come forward and the candle will be lit down front here, and you touch the paper to the candle and poof, your regrets are gone. It's a wonderful experience. I'll have extra paper up there in case you need more than one. And I'll demonstrate it in a bit. And then finally, the third part of the service is called resolve, and that is when you'll have a chance to think about a word or an intention that you'll be able to write on a touchstone to take with you. And with that, let us deepen our hearts and our spirits for worship. We gather together at the beginning of a new time. We stand at the edge of a true wilderness. No one has entered it, nor worn a path for us. There are no maps. We look forward to that great openness in awe of the freedom and the possibility before us. Yet there is also something in us that causes us to face the unknown territory cautiously and anxiously. Now in this place, we take time out of time to look back, to see where we have been and what we have been, to reflect on what we have learned thus far on our journey. We gather together to remind each other, to seek our true north, and to encourage, to place courage in one another. Come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn this morning is number 38 in your gray hymnal, Morning Has Broken. consecrate our time together this morning by the kindling of our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition. And I offer you the words of Katie Gelfand, "The end is the beginning." We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally end, we fear not its end, for we know with brave hearts that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning. Jim, would you light our chalice for us this morning? We take a moment now to affirm the covenant that we share with one another. The words are printed in your order of service for guests if you'd like to read along with us. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. Please be seated. So we are here together this morning at the very beginning, or the very, very end of a year. And it's time for us to pause and to catch our breaths and to spend time together looking backward first and then looking ahead. So our service, as I said, will unfold in 3 parts. And in this first part, we take a few moments to remember. There's a card in your order of service, and I've scattered pencils around in the pews. And Jim is going to read an essay by the Reverend Victoria Safford. And while you're listening, I invite you to start to write something or maybe to draw something about the map of your journey thus far. And I'll pause following the reading to give you just another moment or two of silence to allow you more time to think about what you'd like to say, what you'd like to remember as you think back on the year. So, Jim.
The Map of the Year by Victoria Safford. Here is where I found my voice and chose to be brave. Here's the place where I forgave someone against my better judgment, and I survived that, and unexpectedly, amazingly, I became wiser. Here's where I was once forgiven and was ready for once in my life to receive forgiveness and to be transformed. And I survived that also. I lived to tell the tale. This is the place where I said no more loudly than I ever thought I could, and everybody stared, but I said no loudly anyway because I knew it must be said, and those staring settled down into a harmless, ineffective grumbling, and over me they had no power anymore. Here's a time, and here's another, where I laid down my fear and walked right into it, right up to my neck into that roiling water. Here's where cruelty taught me something, and here's where I was first astonished by gratuitous compassion and knew it for the miracle it was. The requirement it is was a trembling time. And here, much later, is where I returned the blessing clumsily. It wasn't hard, but I was unaccustomed. It cycled around, and as best I could, I sent it back out and passing the gift along. This circular motion around and around had no apparent end. Here's a place, a murky puddle, where I have stumbled more than once and fallen. I don't know yet what to learn there. On this site, I was outraged at the rage sustains me still. It clarifies my seeing. And here's where something caught me, a warm breeze in late winter, a bird song in late summer. And here's where I was told that something was wrong with my eyes, that I see the world strangely. And here's where I said, yes, I know. I walk in beauty. Here's where I begin to look with my own eyes and listen with my ears and sing my own song, shaky as it is. Here's where, by surgeon's knife, my heart was opened up, and here and here and here. These are the landmarks of conversion.
I invite us now into a time of prayer to be followed by a silent meditation. Spirit of life, source of all. An old year is ending. Always at this time of year we pause and offer all of our wishes and hopes for the new year. We hope for peace, for health and safety, not just for ourselves, but for all. This year has been fractured by war, the ongoing war in Ukraine, and the war in the Gaza Strip that began in October. And we watch as atrocities are committed daily, and as people suffer and are dehumanized. So much needs our care and attention as we pause on the threshold of this new year. Help us to discern where we can share our gifts and lend our voices, our courage, and our strength. We need a place to begin, a center that must hold us. And so remind us, Spirit, that we, every one of us, is made in the image of the holy and is made of the same stardust. Help us to stay centered by remembering we are all one. As we move now away from the holiday period, these special days, back into the more mundane demands of daily life, help us to remember that what unites us is far more important than all that divides us. Dona nobis pacem. Grant us peace. We hold in our hearts all those in our community or our families who have need of our prayers this morning, all those who are ill or grieving, lonely. May they and we know comfort and well-being, and may we hold all these beloveds in our hearts as we enter into silence. Amen. And so now we've come to the time for the second part of our service this morning, which is about releasing the burdens we are carrying so they don't come forward with us into the new year. We'll begin with the poem Let It Go by E.E. Cummings. Let it go, the smashed word, broken open vow, or the oath cracked lengthwise. Let it go. It was sworn to go. Let them go, the truthful liars and the false fair friends and the boths and neithers. You must let them go. They were born to go. Let all go. The big, small, middling, tall, bigger, really the biggest, and all things. Let all go, dear. So comes love. So at this time, I call to your attention the little piece of white paper in your order of service, and if for some reason it's fallen out, there are more up at the front table here, so help yourselves. This is known as flash paper, and it burns in a flash. So I invite you now to take a moment to write something, or a word or a phrase on the paper, a burden, a fear, a regret, an anger, something you want to release. So write that on the paper, and then when you're ready, please come forward and you can just touch the paper to the candle that I will light in a second, and it'll be released. So there, as I mentioned, there's extra paper up here on the little table if you didn't get a piece, or, and I know how this goes, some years one piece isn't enough. Don't hold back. But I'll start with almost a guided meditation of a few questions that may emerge for you, and you can decide what to write. What feels like a hindrance to you? What would you like to forget? Where might you draw courage? What thoughts and memories do not serve you well? What will you relinquish? What might get in the way of your living as fully as you would like? What do you want to forgive? What do you hope to be forgiven for? leaves space for hope in your heart and resolve for the journey ahead. And I hope that what you have released here is forever now gone from your spirit and will cease to trouble you. May you be relieved and renewed, ever mindful that love is always more powerful than fear, and that compassion is the key to freedom from resentment. As we pause to take up our weekly offering, I wanted to say a little bit about last Sunday, Christmas Eve, where we had, between our two services, we had over 200 people here in the building. And I wanted to share what a joy that was to have the choir back for the first time since 2019, and to have the room so full and people coming and going. And it just speaks to me about how resilient this community has been, and how we have kept moving forward over the last several years in the spite of a lot of adversity, and the work that you have all done to carry us forward. And it's a proud time and a grateful time. And as we pause to think about what this community means to us, I wanted to share how hopeful this made me feel. So with that, for all of our ministries and for the life and the health of this community, this morning's offering will now be gratefully received. So thank you for your generosity, and blessings on the givers and upon your gifts. So by now we have spent some time reviewing the past year, the year now ending, and we have written and burned up our regrets. And so now we can turn to the new year with resolve and intention. And I'll start by reading a poem called Here I Am by Elaine Kizia. May my wisest self guide me through this day. May she remind me to look through eyes of wonder and see the abundant beauty of here and now, to lift from my toes up, grounded on this precious earth and in this miraculous body. To open my heart, flinging wide its shutters so no defenses cut me off. To employ my hands to create beauty, to soothe suffering, and to unlock potentials. Eyes, feet, heart, hands. From here, I can wake to my life and the gift that it is. From here, I can move through my day with simple ease. From here, I can spread compassion and love. From here, I can mend the world. May I be in harmony today with the current that flows through all, and may I be a faithful expression of this sacred source. Here I am. Amen. Now, could the ushers come forward again? I warned you it was a busy day. So on the table here are 2 baskets, if you'd each take one, and the baskets contain river stones, river rocks. And as they pass the baskets, I invite you to take a stone and to just hold it for a moment and feel how, Jerry, if you could grab the markers, actually, that would be, okay. And hold the stone as you listen to a prayer that I'm going to read by Lynn Cox. Notice how it becomes warm in your hand. And if you're watching from home, I invite you to sit with a piece of paper for a moment, because you can do this too. So after we pass the touchstones, as we're passing them, we'll also pass out some markers. And in between, as you're getting your stone, I invite you to think of a word or a phrase, something that comes to you when you look at your stone. What will you want to take with you today when you hold your stone going home and looking at it in the days ahead? What do you love? What gives your life meaning? What would be an intention for the new year? Not a resolution, an intention. Love, peace, compassion. What comes to mind? Resolve, resilience, humor, music. What will give your life meaning? Our prayer is The Courage to Continue on the Journey by Lynn Cox. Spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by none, we give thanks this morning for this time and this place of peace and renewal. We give thanks for the ability to begin again after tragedy, after loss, after meeting the challenges set before us. Grant us the courage to continue on the journey, and also the courage to speak up for the well-being of others and ourselves and our beautiful planet. May we forgive each other and ourselves when our courage falls short, and may we try again. Grant us hearts to love boldly, to embody our faith and our values in living words and deeds. May our hearts open to embrace humility, grace, reconciliation. Grant us the ability to learn and grow, to let the spirit of love and truth work its transformation upon us and within us. Grant us the spirit of hospitality, the willingness to sustain a true dwelling place for the holy that resides in all beings. Grant us a sense of being at peace in the world even as we are in motion. Help us to cultivate together the strength to welcome every kind of gift and all manner of ways to be on the journey together. And to this, we add the silent prayers of our hearts. Metallic markers to write on that wants one? We don't really know what they're for. Goodness. Gail, I think, has them. The metallic markers are to write on your stone. Your word of intention to write on your stone. So thank you for saying that, because I didn't realize that you weren't following. It'll take a few minutes to pass the markers around.
Maybe I just missed your person.
The stones, yes, yes. The stones are for you to take home and to look at and remember your word. And hope that this intention you formed here this morning will carry forward with you into the new year. I suggest letting it dry a little before you stick it in your pocket. Okay. I invite us now to say together the unison prayer that's printed in your order of service. Eternal Spirit, God of this new year, we are walking into mystery. We face the future, not knowing what the days and months will bring to us or how we will respond. Be love in us as we journey. May we welcome all who come our way, deepen our faith, and fill us with hope and trust that you dwell in us amidst our joys and sorrows. Thank you for the gift of being able to rise each day. Amen. And our closing hymn this morning is number 350 in the Gray Hymnal, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Blessed be, and amen. And if you're watching from home, I invite you to hold up your candle or chalice, and together we will blow them out. Can I ask someone to come forward and extinguish our chalice for us? As we say the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace and return in love, and blessings for the new year. Amen.